a young adult. I mean, like, a lot of this happened when he was like, what, 27, 26?
Yeah.
So that's a young person, especially a young person who's really just been shooting a basketball their whole life. Like, they don't have a chance to be a person in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I get it. I don't judge him for it a ton. I also really want him to hear this and be like, New York fans are really cool, and I should come play there.
All right, he might be listening. We're gonna take.
I'm a
break.
huge fan of how he plays.
There he is, Sam Morril. One more segment with Sam. He's at the Punchline, by the way. He's got a show tonight, 2 tomorrow and 2 Saturday. I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back.
Who's watching me? I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? When I come home at night, I roll the door.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But The Secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
Del. Why did you kiss my ear? Why are you holding my hand? Where's your other hand? Between two pillows. Those aren't pillows.
Tittle ain't the man, but Rick Tittle know who the man is. and he slapped his white fanny.
All right, thank you for that. And we have another segment with our buddy Sam Morril. He is at the Punchline, and he's got a show tonight, 2 tomorrow and 2 on Saturday as well. One more hoop question for you, and I know we could talk hoop all day. You know more about the NBA than I do, I'm sure.
I don't know about that.
That's your thing.
I love it.
No, that's your thing. Do you feel bad that the Nets are a playoff team, or you say more power to them?
I don't really think. I mean, they're almost not even a New York team to me because they were always New Jersey. So I mean, I love D'Angelo Russell. I can't believe I've become a fan of this guy after. After that was the weirdest scandal. He Snapchatted. It's almost like you have to explain this to an older person. So like he Snapchatted his friend talking about cheating on his girlfriend or fiance, right? It was Nick Young with Iggy Azalea.
Yeah.
He Snapchats this, and then the team turns on him. It was hilarious. It was one of the funniest scandals.
And now Swaggy P has a ring, and Russell's an all-star.
Good for both of them.
It all worked out.
Well, maybe Nick Young's personal life is not as happy. Who knows? But, you know, D'Angelo Russell's a freaking killer, man. I love him. He's so fun to watch. That teardrop is hilarious. It's like a cartoon shot.
And he has, I think, continued on X-Body with the tats, too. I think he's run out of room.
He's running out.
One of the things I love about New York City, and it was my favorite thing to do, and I did it again a couple months ago, is it's just the comedy and to go to the Cellar and to the Strip and to Gotham. And what's cool is that doing this show this many years now, I have some acquaintances. I'm not going to say like, oh, we're best friends, but I have some acquaintances. And so it was a Monday night. I had come in from Philly, and I went to the Cellar, and I didn't realize that even on a Monday night, they're sold out. Because I think with like Crashing and all these other shows, everybody wants to go. So I saw the second show. I saw the first show. I had Rachel Feinstein, who I know from doing this, and she
one of my best friends.
Yeah, she said anytime. So I knew she could get me in, but I didn't want to like try and tweet her or something. But I saw Mike Fanoia was going to MC the second set, and he always comes in here with Big J, and they were here like 2 weeks before. So I actually had the audacity to go up in the olive tree, go back to the comedy table, and I'm like, he's like, I know you. I go, San Francisco. He goes, oh yeah. I go, they're sold out, and he's like, nah, you're in. So that's a cool little thing there. But
totally.
That, I mean, I felt, because I know the vibe. How long did it take you to get to that back table and be accepted?
I've been there. I got in there a little early for that club. I got in probably in like 2011, I'd say. I think it was April of 2011.
Was it still SD back then?
Yeah, totally. And it was probably the most scared. People that don't know the Comedy Cellar, it's like the most revered club in the city.
And we're this close to you too.
Yeah, and it's intimidating. So I remember I went in there, and I was so nervous. Like I've done, at that point I don't know if I've even done TV, like real TV spots, and I was nervous, and I did a couple laps around the block because I was too nervous to walk in. And Gary Goldman, this comedian, who's a great comedian, recommended me to work there, so that meant a lot to me.
You have to get a recommendation, right?
They say 2 usually, unless it's someone who's really respected, like Gary. And I heard later Dan Soder, who's another good friend of mine, kind of jumped on. He was like just a class ahead of me, but he was like we were kind of doing the same shows always, and we were always friends. And I heard Dan was like, Dan was brand new there, so he said, I'm not one to recommend, but he should work here. So that was his kind of. I think Gary was enough, but then Soder, she was like, all right, I'll look at him. And this is now so many comics work there. Back then, a recommendation there was so hard to get. So there were less shows. Now there's 3 rooms. There was only 1 room back then. So there were 3 clubs now. But back then it was that 1 room. There were less spots to go around. There were less comics working there. And almost no one of my class had worked there. There was a couple comics in my world, in my orbit, like Dan Soder and Nikki Glazer, who I was friends with, who worked there. But not that. None of my best friends worked there. So I remember walking in and sitting down, and Keith Robinson, who's, legendary comic, Philly comic, so funny. I sit down, and he just looks at me, and he goes, look how scared he is. And everyone starts laughing at me, and I was like, oh, my God, what the hell? This is terrifying. I am scared. He can read it on me. And they had me following this guitar comic who's a funny comic, but it's like, you don't want to follow that on an audition because it's just a different energy. So I was panicking a little, like, oh, God, why am I following this? And then she goes, you're going to follow Nikki instead. And I was like, thank God. Nikki's like a joke teller. This is going to be perfect. So I go up, first joke, hits, and it's like, that's all you need. I was like, boom, 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 killed, got off. scarier than Conan, your first time, scarier than any late night, scarier than a Tonight Show. It means more. Like I know more people see that, but this is going to affect my livelihood on a day-to-day basis. It'll affect my growth as a comic over the next few years. The Cellar is the best, you know. So, and you know, all the best comics when they need to work and stuff go there for a reason. They treat you well. I love it there.
You know, I'm a big fan of Mark Norman, who's in here all the time.
Yeah, I talked to Mark yesterday. I talk to him every day, probably.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's one of my favorites. I love that guy, and I listen to Tuesdays with Stories, the thing he does with Joe List. They mention you all the time.
Oh yeah,
on that podcast. So there's about maybe 20 guys and gals they mention, and it's cool because like at least 15 come in here, so I know who they're talking about. I've met them, but. It's funny, they were talking the other day about Rory Scovel, who I've been in here, and they both Joe List and Mark Norman said, I'll never be that good as Rory. And I was thinking, wow. So I rewatched some Rory stuff, and I know he was in that movie with Amy Schumer and everything, but it's funny how they were talking about the way that he can do all these characters and command a room. It's just funny to see because they always talk about that they're famous, but they're not Kevin Hart famous. But then they're also not barking as well. And I guess that's kind of the dichotomy of like you guys, you have to say yes to every set, right? Almost?
Yeah, it's funny when they say they're famous, but they're not. It's like when someone says Sam Morril, I'm like, is this someone from high school or is this someone from like Instagram? I don't know who they are, you know? So, yeah, so that's exactly what. But yeah, but when they talk about Rory, I mean, Mark and Joe are just different types of comics. You know, Rory is like this force of a performer and everything, and then Mark and Joe are these incredible writers. So it's just different types of comics.
Right.
And, you know, I'm sure, you know, Rory sees that the way Mark just crushes these weird premises and somehow Mark will say something outrageous and then turn you. I mean, everyone's got different skill sets is what I'm trying to say, you know?
And then Mark was telling me that he said something and, you know, he was maybe half hour into his set headlining and some woman went, "That's offensive."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Shut up, you narcissist. This is all about you. You laugh at all the other stuff." And I've seen you tweeted out some video of handling a heckler and you told the guy that he was going to die soon.
Yeah, I was in Naples. I regret nothing. Naples, Florida is the worst. No, I got into a whole thing with a guy and he was the worst. They were like, I understand poor Trump people, but rich Trump people are the worst people. And they were just the worst people. Naples, Florida is horrible. I'll never go back. And they're heckling me the whole time. And it was this old couple. It was like they're like over 80. And the grandson is with him. He goes, "Grandpa, please." And I was like, this is insane that this is happening. So I was trying to disarm them best I could for a long time. And then finally I just said, God, I can't believe. Thank God I'm going to leave here. I hate this city. And this guy goes, "Well, you're still here now." And I said, "Yep, but I'm on a flight in the morning." He's like, "Still here?" And I was like, "Yep, and you're going to be dead soon, so that'll be good for me too." And then he goes, I said, "You're going to be in a casket." And he said, "Well, you're going to have to put me there." And I said, "That's not how time works." So that was the whole show. It was just me insulting people and wishing death on people. And then I'm just tweeting everything like how much I hate this city and club. And my agent's like, "You might want to wait for the check to clear." And I was like, "I'm good."
I remember you told me, this is one thing before we have to go. I remember you told me last time about, and it's the first time I heard the term, you told it to me, an ambush show where people are having dinner.
Yeah.
Here's a comic, and they're like, no.
I know. God, isn't that brutal? It's a shame. Because music, you're like, at least it's not rude for us to talk through, but comic, they're just like, "What are you, like, not paying attention?" They're like, "No, it's our honeymoon. This is our anniversary."
That's part of the grind, though, right?
I guess you just got to say yes to everything, but God, even while doing those, I hate it. I remember I did an ambush show once. This is one of the most humiliating moments. I left Tulane in New Orleans I was like, I'm going to pursue comedy, and they were all like, "All right." And I remember these like frat bros who I thought were kind of tools or whatever, but they were fine. They were nice enough, but I remember them kind of looking at me like, "All right, comedy," like really kind of give me that look. Next time I see them, I'm at this show called at Manchester Pub. And it's an ambush show. So I go on stage. There's 4 people in the crowd. It's those 4 dudes from Tulane. I was like, oh, boy. So I just got to make these guys laugh.
Right.
These are the only people that I could. It was brutal. It was embarrassing. So you have those moments, and you're like, you want to tell them, well, it's going bad, but it's not going this bad. you know.
Sam Morril has been with us. He's at the Punchline tonight.
And that was years ago. That's not recent.
No,
for
no,
anyone
no. It's not
listening.
recent. And how can people find you?